Hello, welcome to Wednesday, September 23rd, 4 p.m. And it's Make It Wednesdays at Seward Memorial Library. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you, doing two crafts today, and having some time to enjoy cutting, pasting, gluing, and creating at Seward Memorial Library. My name is Mrs. Baldinger, and I will be your host and instructor today. Here is the packet you should have received before joining us. And in this packet are materials as well as an instruction sheet that tells you what you need and some instructions. So if you don't visit this video, you've got this to read and direct you through making these projects. In your packet, you should have a head, a foot, a rainbow of strips of construction paper, four googly eyes, 2 paper plates, and a thin piece of wire. The first project that we're going to work on today is the slithering snake. Did you know snakes are found all over the world? And the library has lots of books that are in fiction as well as nonfiction, like this one. Here we have a very colorful snake that is hidden in the pages of this book. It's by Keith Baker. And we also have a lot of nonfiction books that tell you facts about these interesting reptiles. I especially like the one by Fly Guy. So that book by Ted Arnold, I may be telling you some facts that I picked up just looking at that book, and you can get those at our library. We're going to start with a plate that has black lines drawn on it. Oops, I just dropped a couple of important pieces. Be careful when you pull your plate out so that you don't do that also. This is the plate, and it's got lines that go in a circle, and actually this looks like a flattened snake, kind of like a pancake. Snakes could be white, but that's kind of boring. And snakes can have 2 different colors. They can have a different color on their backside that's on them different from what's on the front side. Snakes can have stripes, diamonds, spots, lines. I saw a snake in one of these books that showed that was orange and black, like this. So I think I'm gonna make my snake striped. You should have, to do these projects, you should have crayons, a box of crayons. You need crayons or markers. You need glue, stick or liquid. You need tape. And you need scissors. So now, having all those supplies available for you, we're going to start on our snake. And I think I'm going to make my snake orange and black. I've made several snakes already with boys and girls, and I've done brown and orange, and I've done green, and I've done white and black. Well, this one is, we're going to start here at the tail. I'm going to color it black. It's kind of interesting coloring on the plate. And I'm going to make it striped, so I'm going to color some orange. And you can color yours any way you want. Maybe you want to make it all one color. Maybe you want to have it have polka dots. I'm doing mine with stripes, just to make it more interesting. And while I'm doing this, I thought I'd share some snake information. Did you know that there are snakes in every part of the world except one place? Can you guess where that might be? You can find snakes in the water, in swamps, in deserts, in forests, in my backyard, my garden, here in Seward. Yes, I even had one in my house. Didn't enjoy that. Made him go back to the outdoors. But snakes can be in trees, and I've seen them climbing around in my raspberry bushes. But there's one place where you can't find snakes. How's your coloring going? And that is Antarctica. Did you guess that? There are no snakes in Antarctica, but they are every place else in the world. And snakes have a skin. Have any of you ever held one where you've touched the skin that's all around them, like what we're coloring? They have a skin, and it's made out of the same material as your fingernails, keratin. So when you touch your fingernails, that's kind of the feeling of the snake. Snakes can be poisonous, and snakes can just be friendly, like our garden snake in the backyard. Keep going along here. Some people have pet snakes. I know somebody here at the library had a pet snake, and my nephew had a pet snake. The trouble with pet snakes is you can't just buy a bag of food at the pet store. They like to eat creatures, other animals, like mice. How are we doing with our snakes? Keep going, keep coloring. I'm starting to get close to the head now. And I don't think I'm going to make stripes on the back today. I think I'm going to make the back all one color. If you notice, I'm going to color the head all one color. If you notice, there are 2 X's and a hole on the head. That's going to be important in a few minutes. And I think for the back, I think this snake, it could have stripes, but I think to speed things up a little bit for you, I'm going to make the back of the snake just one color. I'm going to color the whole back one color. I'm making it brown. Maybe my snake has been crawling in the dirt or mud. I know there are green snakes, and there are black, gray. In our book, there's a picture of one that's even blue and green. So be sure and check out some books to see just how beautiful some of these snakes can be. They don't have to be just ordinary, plain, unattractive. They can be very pleasant to look at. All right, I colored the back, and now I am going to cut along the black lines. I'm going to cut in where his tail should be. Change this so you can see. I'm going to cut in there, right here, and I'm going to follow those lines that go in circles around my plate, around the edge. Follow the black line. Now, you don't need to have lines to do this if you want to make another snake at your house on your own paper plate. My granddaughter, she made her snake really long because she made him very skinny. Our snake isn't quite as skinny as what she made. And when you get to the head, you go around and you stop right where my line stops so that your head looks like this. Now, if I set this down, it's just kind of flat. Nothing, just a flat old snake. Looks like he's sleeping. And we're going to wake him up. We're going to give him 2 eyes. And did you notice that the snake has no ears? Snakes do not have ears like we do on the side of our head. I'm going to put some glue on one of these eyes and now on the other. Some of you might have self-sticking eyes, but I find that tape, that back cover on those eyes hard to get off. So I'm just gluing. So now there he is peeking at you. The snake, in your packet, there should be one little piece of paper that has a triangle cut out of it. Do you know what this is? This is the snake's tongue, but it's also his ears. The snake flicks this in and out. It wiggles it in and out. And with that, he can sense where food is close by. We're going to take and put some tape on the tongue, on his forked tongue. And I'm going to put that in the back of his head. I taped it on the back of his head. See? Okay. Now, even though he's got a tongue, he's still just kind of, yours is just kind of laying flat there. I am now going to take and we're going to make him so that he can move. That piece of very, very thin wire that you have, take that out, that piece of very thin wire. Here you go. And if you look carefully, I poked a hole in the snake's head. Put the wire through the hole and take a small piece of tape and tape that wire down so it won't fall out. And now, watch what happens. This wire is so thin, you can hardly see it. Oh, here he comes. If I set him right here, oh, here he comes. And he can wiggle all around. Set the snake by your mom or dad's chair and then just pull the string. Oh no, I hope you don't frighten him too badly, or your brother or sister. Now he can move around, wherever you want him to go. And then when you stop pulling on the wire, he's back to laying contentedly in a circle, maybe sleeping, taking a nap. So that's our snake story for today, our project for today. And don't forget to go to the library for some snake books. We've got the one called Hide and Seek Snake by Keith Baker. And we have a Fly Guy Presents Snakes, and lots of other books that just say snakes on them with pictures and information that you can learn and enjoy. Now, we have 2 crafts today. We have something else that moves along the ground, but most people are not really afraid of them, and a lot of people don't even notice them. That is, the creature that we have is a snail. How many of you have seen snails? They're usually found in gardens, and they are helpful. They're not a pest or an enemy for our gardens, and they're the food for a lot of birds who find them enjoyable. And guess what? In some countries, people eat snails. I don't particularly care for them, but maybe you've had them in a fancy restaurant, tasted them, and enjoyed them. That's good. Well, we have a snail in our bag now, but it's not done. Remember, we have 2 eyes left. We have paper, another plate, a head, and a foot. Before I start, I'm going to mention a book that I read when we were having Zoom earlier. And that book, I've got this book called Snail Crossing by Corey Tabor. It's a fun story about a snail who, he wants to go and eat cabbages. But the problem is he's very hungry for the cabbages. And the problem is the cabbages are across the street, a big highway. Do you think snails move quickly when cars and trucks are coming? Oh, no. And in fact, when he gets halfway across the road, a truck comes, doesn't run him over, but spins him around, and he doesn't get to the cabbage patch. You'll have to read the book to find out how he gets a cabbage. I also have another one called The Snaily Snail. And this one is by Chris Reshka. And that's another library story that you might enjoy. Notice that shell isn't just plain. The shell happens to also be the snail's house. He can hide in there and be safe and be cozy. And so we want to make his house beautiful. And that's why we have these strips of paper. To cut them out quickly, actually it's a whole rainbow of colors. To cut them out quickly, what I did is I put them together, so it looks like one, and I cut them about the size of a square. See, like this, about the size of a square. And I snipped them all at once. There we go. And I'm going to do that all the way down that strip of paper so that I have a pile of squares. Another one. See this? There we go. I'm making my pile of squares. And here, snip, snip, snip. I hope you're doing that too. Snip, making squares, making lots of squares. All right, now I have a pile of squares. And at this point, you can get out your glue stick, or you can get out your glue bottle. And if you have good control, are you able to control the glue well, you can take each piece and put it on the plate, like this. I'm going to put another one on. If you'd rather have a puddle, then you can put it on a piece of scrap paper or a Kleenex or a napkin or something and dip them. I put a red, and I put orange, and I put a yellow. I'm going to try and get all the colors. Now I've got a green. Okay. I've got a blue. Now, some people put them all on top of each other, I put a little space between mine. You can do it however you want. There we go. So I've now got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I think I'm going to do that again. Red, orange, yellow, green. How are you doing? Are you making, or you can make yours green, red, green, red. You can make all red and then all green, all blue, whatever you want to do is fine. I think the snail will love having his home made beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take one of my, I took one of my little red hearts and I cut red squares. I'm sorry, I said I'm going to make the red square into a little red heart. And make it a little better. I folded it in half and kind of cut it like a heart. I'm going to put that right in the center. So our snail's got a heart. Okay, keep going, put some more colors down. I'm going to put, and you know, I found that by cutting it in squares, I couldn't do the very edge. So what I did for the, see, there's my next row going around. For the very edge, I cut some of my squares in half, like this. And I put them along the edge because the squares didn't fit. It's kind of a skinny rim. I've got a purple and I've got an orange. Got blue. Okay. All right. This is how I ended up. I put half ones all the way around. I did this one earlier. So let's keep going. And you know, I've made several snails houses. I don't know which one I like best. They've all been different. And yours is probably looking a lot different than mine. Keep going. And are you having, I hope you had a good day at school today. And you're all staying healthy. And learning lots of new things in your class this year, making new friends. Hope you all have good art classes. Maybe some of you have done this already. It would be fun if you could show me. I'd like to see what you did. Keep going. If you want to send a picture to the library or bring it in and show us, that would be, we would be really thankful for that. Okay. All right. Next week, I will not be here, but there'll be somebody else doing a class with you, making something different. Be kind of a surprise to see who's here from week to week. Maybe some of you have Wendy. Some of you have already made castles. Some of you made catapults. So I'm just going to keep going here. Randomly putting different colors, and I bet you that's what you're doing. If for some reason a part is missing, you be sure to tell us, and we have other parts here that we can share. If you were missing I'm hoping you're not missing anything. But we have more googly eyes and plates and things if for some reason you're missing a part. Okay, I'm just about done here. Do you know how long snails can live? I was just so surprised. Snails, well, if they're in your terrarium or your aquarium, they only live 2 or 3 years. And in the garden, I don't know how long they live because there's so many birds who would like to eat them, or they have their natural enemies. So they live longer if they're in a special place like a zoo, because there, actually, they could live, you're not going to believe this. Can you guess? 15 to 25 years. That's older than a lot of you, older than all of you. Maybe as long as your family has been in Seward. All right, this guy is going to enjoy this beautiful house, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy yours. But there's a problem. He doesn't have a face. We need to give him a face. And so I'm taking a crayon, and I am going to, what kind of day is he having? I think he's having a good day, so it's a smiley face. There. And these are tentacles. They are not antlers. And they're called tentacles. And what we're going to do is on those tentacles, we are going to put his eyes. So find the 2 eyes that have been sitting and waiting for a home. Find your 2 eyes out of your craft bag. There's one. And we're going to take a dab of glue and number 2 eye. There we go. Whoops, just dropped something. For a second. Do you know that snails can do something that some of you maybe wish you could do? They can sleep, hibernate. They can hibernate for up to 3 years. Who else hibernates? Do you know? That's right. Bears, yes. But snails do not go into a cave. I mean, they can't leave their shell. If they leave their shell, they can't live. And they can see with these eyes, but you know what? They don't have ears either, just like our snake. Well, we're going, not ears like you and I have on our head. So we're going to tape this. We're going to tape this onto the shell. We're going to put a piece of tape. I'm going to tape like this so that I can put him on the plate. There we go. But if he just looks like this, he's not moving very much. He needs this foot. And we're going to put the foot, it's not really a tail, it's a foot because it helps him walk. We're going to put a piece of tape on that, on the fat end. We're going to add it to the plate. So now we have our snail who is, let me move this down a little bit, who is creeping along, going to the cabbage patch in our book or the garden or wherever it is to find his food, and hoping no birds find him for their dinner in between times. You should have 2 things to enjoy now, or show other people, or play with even. Got the snakes, and I have, well, I should show you, I have a green snake. I wish I could see your snakes. This is the green snake. And I've got the striped snake, and I've got a plain old white snake. It's been fun having you with me this afternoon, and I hope you can come back next Wednesday for another Make It Wednesday at 4 o'clock at Seward Memorial Library live, Zoom. Thank you. Enjoy your rest of your day.